Welcome to the first project of this course. I will be explaining how we are going to go about our first project. So, this is the data set that we are going to be using, and then these are the instructions that we are going to be carrying out. So, let us start from the first question. The first question is that we are going to copy all the rows where the state is blank to a new worksheet, and we are going to name that worksheet blank state worksheet. So this is what I am saying. If you look here, this is the state column, and there are some area here we have the empty space or the blank cell. This is another blank cell. So we want to remove all of the data set where the state is blank, and we are going to copy it and paste it into another worksheet, and we are going to title that worksheet the blank state worksheet. So good. The goal of that is that we want to know all of our data sets where the state was not recorded, so that we can send it back to those who collected the data to check for those areas. Then the second task is that we want to convert our country codes to country name and delete the country code column from the data set. Good. So how does that go? Let's see. This is the country. The country code is here. So we want to remove this country code and replace it with the name of the country. For example, IT means Italy. So we want to write the Italy in a full name. The same thing go for US. We want to write it in USA, and so on and so forth. In order for us to get this right, this is the country code. So you come here, you use this to work on how to replace the country code. So CA should be replaced with Canada, FR should be replaced with France, and so on and so forth. Now we are going to the third task. The third task is that we want to extract the gender, the first name, and the last name from the customer name column. So customer name column, and then we are going to delete the customer name. So we delete the customer name from the data. Good. So let me reduce the font. Now, this is it. This is the customer name. So this customer name contains three elements: the first name, the last name, and then the gender. So we want us to create three new columns inside this particular sheet. And those three columns, the first column will contain the gender. So where we have Mrs., we put female. Where we have master, we put male. Where we have Mr., we also put male. So the gender will be in one column. Then we create another one for first name. The first name will be there, and then the last name will be there. So this single column will be used to generate three different columns. And then after we have been able to do that, we are going to delete this particular column. Good. So let's see the next task. The next task is that when we have generated the three columns, that is the gender, first name, and the last name column, we should ensure that these columns have their data sets in a lowercase format. So we want it to be in a lowercase format. For example, you see the leader here is in a proper case, Garcia here is in a proper case. So we don't want this. We want everything to be in lowercase for the three newly generated columns. Good. So let's look at the next task. So which is task 4. So we want to extract the day of the week from the other shift day column and make it to be a new column called weekday. And we want the original date format of the other shift date to be in this format. That is year, and DD. What means is that assuming this is 2024, this will be 24, the 20 will be removed. So the last two numbers of the year. This is 24, hyphen in between, this is August, so 08, and then today is 3rd. So this will be 03. So this particular format. If you go back here, you will see that let's look at the other ship dates. So this is the other ship date. You can see that this is in a form of is different format. So work on this date, extract the day of the week from this date, from this particular date, and then format it to that format that I explained earlier. So let's go to task 5. So we want the order amount to be in pounds. So let's see. This is our order amount. So you can see we want it to be in pounds. So we want it to be in United Kingdom British pounds. So because these order were made in that particular currency. Good. So let's look at the next task. Create new worksheet and put the data from each country in a worksheet and name the worksheet as the name of that country. So now what you are saying is that come here and for the new column that contains the country name based on the country code, we want to create a new worksheet for each of the country so that every data that is related to each country can be inside the inside the worksheet. The goal of that is that if we want to know the data of all the transaction for a particular country, we just go to that worksheet. If we want to know the transaction for that country, we just go there. So that is what we want to do. So for each of the country represented here, create a new worksheet for each of them and put all the data that belongs to that particular country inside that worksheet and name that worksheet after the name of the country. Good. So after doing that, the next aspect is that we want to calculate the number of transactions, number of customers, and the total order amount for each country. So we want to know the number of transactions that was made for each country. We want to know the number of customers that participated in that transaction, and we want to know the total amount in terms of order amount for each country. So let your answer for the above be in a new worksheet called the calculated values in form of a table. So we are going to create a new worksheet for that, and we are going to create a table like this. In that table, we are going to have like the country name like this. This is a country code. So that one should be country name and the name of the country in full. And then we have the transaction. So the number of transactions will be here, and then we create another column here, which will be the total number of customers, and then the total value amount, total amount, the value amount for that particular country. So that by the time you come to this particular worksheet and we look into this table, you can say, oh, this is Italy, this is the number of transactions that were done for Italy in that year, this is the total number of customers that we had from Italy from that year, and this is the total amount that we generated from Italian customers. So that is very important. So that is how this particular question is to be done. Then we go to the next task. The next task is that we create new worksheets again for the purchase status and name each of them based on the status that it contains. So if you come to our data here, you will see a particular column called the purchase status, which tells us about the status of each of the transaction. So this is an occasional one, this is frequent, this is frequent. So we want to know the group of customers that are frequent, we want to know the first timer, we want to know those ones that only come occasionally. So we want to group our customers and their transaction into all of these status represented here. So for us to do that, we are going to create new worksheets for each of these particular status. And all the transaction and the customer, like all the data sets that belong to each status will be in each of those worksheets. And then after we have created that, we want to also create a new worksheet. And that new worksheet, we want to calculate the number of transactions. So we want to know, okay, for the frequent status, what is the number of transactions? So that we can know the percentage of the transaction that was under frequent and the customers who have been frequent in our business. So we are going to calculate the number of transactions for each purchase status and the number of customers that participated in the transaction. So we want to know the number of our customers for that particular year that were frequent, those who were just first timer, and those who were occasional. So we are going to create a new table like we did here, a new worksheet, and then we put a table inside it that represent each of those status, and the value of these two should be there. That is the value of the number of customers and the number of transactions. And then lastly, as we were about to start this project, the clerk, the company clerk who collated the data set we are using just called us and said, Oga, please, before you submit this project to the boss, please help me check the age column. So this is the age column. So the clerk said we should help him check the age column, that most probably he did some mistake when he was entering the data, and that you should help him check it and see if there is a mistake and help him correct those mistakes. So the clerk did not know whether he made a mistake here or not, but he wanted us to just help him check if there is any form of mistake that we were able to detect, and we should help him to correct it if we do. So before you submit the project, we are going to help the clerk with our skill and our proficiency in handling data with Excel. So this is the first project of this course, and I expect us to be able to finish this between within a week. So please, I will be letting us know where we are going to be submitting this project. So we are going to be submitting this project and you will be sending it to me, to us, and then we'll be looking at it. So we are going to also do a video that will contain the solution to this particular project. But that video for the solution is not going to be on our YouTube channel. Rather, it is going to be in a private Telegram channel. So when you have done your project and submitted, and we look at it, that is when we will allow you to access the solution. If you don't submit your project, you are not going to have access to the solution of this project. And this project is what we will be using to monitor our progress for this course and see those who complete the course and those who will be able to get their certificate and co. Because this is the essence of this course. This course is project based. That is why all the materials are on our YouTube channel. Go there and digest them and use those concepts to come and solve problem. Thank you very much until we meet in the next one.